Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Rotor31, and I cannot apologize enough for the truck video. I am so sorry. The software that I use to record videos, when I brought it up to do truck videos, doing an update, I usually do a mic check. I looked at it, the bars are coming up. I don't know why no sound came out, so I'm very, very, very sorry. But hopefully you read the comments and you were able to get the link, and I put out the full sheet after practice and qualifying. So we have Xfinity coming up here at Nashville, and with this race, it's another tight schedule. So unfortunately, this is another speculation video, but we did see the truck series race there, so we have kind of an idea of like how things went. And there was some passing and some opportunities where they went 2 or 3 wide, and it wasn't like one person just like completely took off and nobody could catch them. So got it's like we got 188 laps here, 250 miles for the Xfinity race. And again, it's another tight window. So you're going to have qualifying at 12:05. So probably be done hopefully 12:30, 1 o'clock at the latest when they get through tech. And then you only have like 2.5 hours. The race starts at 3:30. And I have to work tomorrow. And I know I've got some things going on. So it's going to be a very, very tight scramble to try to get everything in lines. But let's look it over. At least we have practice, which is something we didn't have for the trucks. So we'll break down the slate, and maybe I'll color some guys in purple that I'm looking at. So just kind of mark them down. We'll see how things play out. And actually, it was funny because I had Sanchez, one of the prime plays. If you watch the video and you couldn't listen to it, but you could see what's on the screen, he ended up getting the pole. And I also called out Heim, and he led a lot of the race also. And some of the plays that I was on actually ended up doing pretty good. And that was even before we had like practice and qualifying. So some of the math, some of the historic data, some of the track history does come into play here, and these videos do at times work out even without having the actual stuff. But then you have a guy like Dean Thompson, who wasn't able to qualify and finish, started last. Obviously, that's a chalk play, and I switched that to a prime play. And even though he got into an accident, he did crawl up to the top 10 and have a pretty good run. And he was so owned that losing a guy like that's so chalky, you had to have him. And even when he wrecked, it didn't hurt you that much. And it was a profitable night and a great way to start off the weekend. So let's get into the slate for Xfinity. Ty Gibbs drops back down. It was pretty dominant in Xfinity last year. So I think, he's definitely a cash play. He's going to be the most expensive guy. So you'll just have to decide, based on where he qualifies. But he was one of the fastest cars in practice. His long run speed wasn't as good. So that, not going to say it's concerning, but his long run speed was like 14th. So, maybe there might be some fall off here. We'll have to see. I think he's a good driver. We'll just have to see how he does, but I think definitely a cash play. Definitely could win this race. So we'll have to see how he qualifies here. Cole Custer, I have him as a GPP just because Custer, again, he was like 15th or 16th, didn't have great long run speed either. And he's just found trouble. I feel like he and like John Hunter Nemechek are like very similar drivers. Like you see him up front. I know he did get a win a couple of races ago in a road course, but that's because 2 other guys got into each other and he just kind of passed them and took advantage of it. The same thing I say about Alex Bowman. Like he gets wins, but not necessarily having the best car, but puts himself in a position to. So a customer definitely can do that. Ran horrible here in Nashville last year in Cup, but in comparable tracks in Dover and Darlington, and his track average, like everything points at 2 overall. So I have his GPP. Probably start my GPP lines with him. but I think that I'm not going to play him in cash. Riley Herbst, I really debated this one because he looked good at Nashville last year. Actually finished third here, and he had the pole. So he ran quite well, stayed in the top 5 with average running position. He Dover, not so good. Darlington was an absolute disaster. He's a composite finish of 10th on these tracks. But so again, I think Custer and Hurst make a great start to your GPP, but I just don't trust him enough to play him in cash. Sam Mayer, I do like this play in cash here. He's in good form recently. He's having a good season here. Finished 5th last year, 8th in 10 lap average, 4th overall in practice. And even though his track composite's not the greatest with these, maybe he had like a couple DNFs on similar tracks, but for Nashville wasn't really bad. So I think I definitely like him cash, like the 9.5 price tag. Kyle Sieg, 5th in practice, like graded out like really well here. That's why I took their practice position, and that's how they're starting. Don't think he'll start this far up. He usually starts to like down in like the usually 25th on back. So having the practice speed, that's good, but everything else is he's about a 25th place driver. So if he starts 25th on back, I think that's what you're looking for Kyle Sieg. If he starts up higher than that, then he's a GPP play. If he starts like in the top 10 or something, I think he's probably going to be a fade. Justin Allgaier ended up winning last year, started 5th. Steep price tag. It's definitely be a choice to play either him or Gibbs. It's gonna be hard to get both in your lineup, and but ran well here. He's run well on all the tracks. 3rd overall in composite average when it's all said and done with everything. 6th in practice. So everything looks good for Allgaier here. I just don't know if in my build I can get to him, but I think between he and Gibbs and Barry, who I'll get to in a second, I think you probably are going, unless there's like really chalky driver that qualifies really bad and doesn't is going to get a ton of place differential. I think between those 3, I want to probably get 2 of the 3 in my lineup. Chandler Smith, I think he's a cash play here. He started out the season, had good, like fade a little bit there, but they've been in like road courses recently and stuff. That's just not his bag. He was 11th overall in 10 lap average, 7th overall, 5th in practice, 5th overall in composites. So if I throw out like Darlington, he's looked pretty good on these types of tracks. So I think he's a cash play, depending on where he qualifies. If he qualifies top 5, I don't think so. But anything outside the top 5, I think he's safe for cash. Josh Berry, big week for him. He's taken over for Kevin Harvick and Cup in the 4, but he still has unfinished work to do, and I don't think that's going to be a distraction at all to him here. I think he's wants to try to win a championship for Junior Motorsports on his way out of Xfinity up to Cup next year full time, and I think he's a prime play. He was 8th in practice. He was number 1 with fall off last year. He started 9th and he finished 29th. I think he had some mechanical issue. He got on a wreck or something here. His average running position was 14. He's looked good on other similar tracks. And again, I think it's between Barry, Gibbs, and Allgaier. Maybe try to get 2 of them into your lineup. But if you're only going to go 1, I think Barry has a nice price point. Again, he looked like he had the good long run speed and looked like he was decent in practice. John Nemechek, I always have him as GPP. 9th in practice, 3rd with fall off. Struggled here a little bit last year, but the comparable tracks of Dover and Darlington this season, he's looked a lot better. Track average is 4.5, which is the 3rd best of all the drivers here. Ranks 6th overall when everything compositely. So I think he's definitely in play. It just seems like he and Custer just make mistakes, or just have bad luck or something break or something just goes wrong, and they do win races, but they just don't get it done all the time. I feel like it's just the same thing with Ty Majeski in the Truck Series, who's a good race and can always have a good finish and a threat to. But he had a problem with a splitter today, and then something else went wrong, and the truck like ended up like finishing multiple laps down, and it's such a high price tag. You can't afford that. You need to see consistency. You need to see, and I see consistency with Barry. I see consistency with Allgaier, and I should probably see it with Gibbs also, from what we saw last year, and he's in a really good car this year. AJ Allmendinger is dropping down also from Cup to race here. He's in the 10, not the 16, but still, this is kind of the all-star colleague car. Should be good. He was second overall in fall off. Last year here, he ran really well. Where did he started second. He ended up finishing 16th. I don't remember what happened, but he led a good chunk of the race. He looked pretty solid here. So I don't know if it was like he pitted towards the end and lost track position or had tire go down or something like that. But overall, I remember it was a decent day for him. So I think he's definitely solidly in play for cash here, also at 93. Zane Smith, truck race, did really well. He's in a Ryan Sieg car. It's not a garbage car here. He's coming up, getting his first Xfinity start. This car has Stuart Haas backing. So I definitely maybe in a pit crew, like he will definitely have him as a prime play here, or not a cash play here. Definitely top 10. Ran really well here in the Truck Series. He's finished second, I think, twice in a row, and I think he finished like third tonight, or maybe maybe it was second, because I think the guy on the pole was challenging him, Sanchez, for a second place, but I think he held it. So, he has good track history here. He seems to, in practice, he seemed to be able to pick him this car. He's raced up in Cup, so he's and he's an up and coming driver, and I think he definitely belongs in this series here, and I think he can definitely contend tomorrow. Carson Hocevar, who we'll get to a little bit, has raced a couple races in Xfinity and has had back-to-back top 10s. So I think definitely Zane Smith can finish in the top 10, and I really like him in cash here. Ryan Sieg, I'm going to get the prime tag 2 here. Started 24th last year and made it up to 9th. Does really well on this racetrack, and 7th overall in 10th lap average, 12th overall in practice, 15th overall composite. So unless he starts like way up, if he starts outside the top 10, I think he's definitely a cash play. If he starts outside the top 15, then he's definitely a prime play, because I think he has a lot of place differential upside, and should have a solid day from what we've seen him do here racing the last couple races at Nashville. Brandon Jones, 5th overall for 10 lap average, 13th overall for practice speed. Everything shows him to kind of should end up in like the teens here. So I have him as GPP, just because, like, out of junior motorsports cars, he seems to be the one that has the worst luck out of them. He's just had that throughout the season. He's got certain tracks where he excels at. This might be one of them, but I think there's so many other better people in the price range, or I pay up a little bit more for a couple better drivers. No problem playing him in GPP, but I don't think he's priority in cash. Hemrick, I never play in cash. He didn't have long run speed here. 14th. His track composite's not bad. It's 8th overall based on the rest of these drivers, so there's some upside there. The price isn't bad, but I just don't see him as like he's won one race in his whole career, and it was an amazing one because it won him the title. But other than that, like he just is kind of there. Last year he started 10th and he finished 17th, so not super interested there. Austin Hill, I am interested in. All these type of tracks has done really well on. I didn't have a ton of long run speed. Let's see where he ended up ranking on that. 15th, so it's not horrible. So it might be a little bit of fall off, but and 15th in practice. So I think everything's kind of lining up there. 10K, it might be priced in no man's land. But I think just based on looking at Custard's stats compared to his stats, I'd rather take Hill over Custer. I think, especially depending on qualifying too. Like obviously, if Hill qualifies above Custer, then Custer's going to be a better place. It'll be a better place differential. Sammy Smith, Joe Gibbs Racing. He's a GPP, also 6, but just he's found some trouble recently. He's kind of cooled off. Also, I think both the Smiths are always in play, but I think not Zane Smith, sorry, Sammy Smith and Chandler Smith, who are the two I'm comparing here. But I'd always take the discount on Chandler Smith and the Cully car. Sammy Smith just isn't as good, it seems, sometimes. 16th in practice, 6th long run. So again, 98. Just the prices. If he was 88, then I think I'd definitely say cash. Maybe even if it was like 91, 92, but 98 is just too much for me. So I'm out. Carson Hocevar, I'm gonna give him a prime play. He won the truck race. He is back-to-back top 10s here. He's done really well adjusting to his Xfinity Series. He did decent in his Cup debut. Also, if he didn't blow brake rotor, he would have been, which was more something that was an issue with the cars in the next generation car than it was actually the person that was driving him. So he should have a solid finish in his Cup debut. So I think Carson Hocevar is one that, and Dale Jr. said it, like he made a lot of stupid mistakes on racetracks. He admitted to wrecking people on purpose, and Junior actually said he's got an opening in junior motorsports now that Barry's moving up, and he said, if you're interested in this position, I'm interested in you, but you got to show me out here on the racetrack that you can not drive like an idiot and that you can actually become more of a mature race driver and make better decisions. And Junior said he's going to be watching him closely, and he's liked what he saw his first couple starts in Xfinity. So I think that bodes well here. 4th overall in long run speed, 17th in practice, but I think he was still just trying to get used to getting the car set up correctly and everything for this. 88, great price. Really like him. Believe he's going to end up being one of my prime plays no matter where he qualifies. Connor Mosaic, Sam Hunt, decent team, not a ton of experience here. GPP. Jeb Burton, Jordan Anderson Racing has definitely made some strides forward, but again, I think he's going to be a GPP, not interested in cash. Parker Retzlaff, I almost primed him, and this is one that I want to put a purple on. I have really, like, the dude looks like, again, like Peter Parker here, with his glasses and everything. Looks like he should be a reporter for the Daily News. But the guy has hung solid. There's been times where he's qualified in top 10 and I put fade tag on him, but he's hung up there and done well. Now he hasn't had his share of wrecks. But last year at this track, he started 25th and he made his way up to 12th. He got as high as 8th. He had a very solid day. And looking at him here, again, he didn't have a ton of long run speed or anything, but I think if he qualifies outside the top 20, I think he's one that you can definitely look at cash. He's at 64, is a great price tag to fill in your lineup. Brett Moffitt on the Brett Moffitt Whisperer. Like, he didn't do bad last time. He started 15th, finished 10th. I think he's in play here at GPP unless if he qualifies 25th or worse, he's a cash play. If he starts 15th through 25th, he's GPP. If he starts above 15th, then don't play Brett Moffitt. Parker Clearman, GPP, he's been pretty erratic in these types of tracks. It all depends on where he qualifies here. 76 is a decent price tag. I don't think he raced here last year, so I don't have any data on that. didn't have great long run speed, so not super interested. Sheldon Creed, like, car was slower in practice than I thought it should be. Overall, he's really done decent on these types of tracks. So I think he's in play in cash, but again, at this price, I think he's kind of priced in no man's land. I'd rather pay 200 up in Hocevar than this range, or I'd rather pay down 400 and take Zane Smith, probably. So I have him as cash play, but I'll just have to. I don't think he's a priority here. Brendan Poole at GPP, like, it's not because he's been a decent driver, but this car is just. Ryan Vargas actually started 29th and finished 19th in this car last year. But the 4 and 6, I just always have mechanical concerns for me. So GPP, I'm not going to say it's a fade, but you want him starting like 30th on back with a little bit of place differential and hope they can finish on the lead lap. Cascarella has never run here before, 19th overall composite, so it all depends. If he starts outside the top 20, I think he's in play for a GPP. If he starts higher than that, I don't know if I want to play him. Joe Graff Jr. is a Cuban caution flag. He's a fade for me. I never play him. Chad Chastain, again, not too much experience in Xfinity. Car seems decent. So GPP, depending on where he starts, if he might just be like a fill-in if he's starting down towards the bottom at some place differential. Blaine Perkins, same thing, not super exciting. Anthony Alfredo is a decent driver in a bad car. 67 is a little like out of the scrubs. You're paying for his namesake here more than his talent and the quality, and I just probably not interested. These green light racing cars, next one, Parson Massey, again, if they start on the bottom, maybe. I think Josh Williams, I like playing Josh Williams. I think he's got potential, but he's not been in good form recently. Dawson Cram, not interested. Jeremy Clements, I think out of all the ones down here, but 62 is not bad. It's better than the 67 for Alfredo. He's always usually a solid driver. So at just 34th in practice kind of scared me, but I think he's one that you can if he qualifies outside the top 25, that you can play in cash. I'll give him the purple. Chad Finsham's a fade here. The NBA cars hardly ever qualify, and they usually take 38, and we have like 41 here, so 3 are not going to qualify. So my guess is it's going to be Chad Finsham's going to be one of them. Kyle Weatherman is a very good driver, 6,300. Definitely like the price tag. The number 4 car is kind of scary, but if like the 4 and 6, if one of the two doesn't qualify, then usually they take the better car, and usually Frankenstein all the best of everything together between the team just to have one very competitive car. Sage Cram, not much, no experience here at Nashville. Alpha Prime Racing's decent, but I'm just not super excited about him. Ellis, same thing. Like Ellis and Cram, I think are pretty much the same play. Ellis started 20th last time, finished 24th. Cram, I don't think has ever raced here. So, if you're looking for one of them, Ellis has more experience. Has actually seen the track. And 20th average finishing position is not, or running position is not bad. Jeffrey Earnhardt should be a fade. He looked abysmal in practice. But Jeffrey Earnhardt last year, okay, hope you're sitting down for this. Okay, you ready? Jeffrey Earnhardt started 11th last year, and everybody would have been absolutely fade Jeffrey Earnhardt starting 11th. There's no way that you're ever going to play Jeffrey Earnhardt starting 11th. He actually finished the race 7th. He gained 4 points. He held his own. I don't know. Maybe he likes the track. Maybe it was a different car, though. This Alpha Prime car is not a bad car. He was in the 26, which I think maybe it was a seed car last year. Can't remember who it was for. Maybe it was Sam Hunt Racing. But it doesn't matter. The bottom line is that Jeffrey Earnhardt is a below average driver, but he's not a horrible driver. He doesn't suck. Usually his equipment's decent. So if you think that there's something going on here, I'll put him in purple, just as kind of just because of last year, and even like with similar tracks, like he's like got a 21st average finish rating. So maybe there's something maybe I'm missing something here. So I had him as a fade first, and then when I looked at last year's like finish and stats and everything, then I switched him to a GPP. Don't know if I can get to him in cash, but again, he might be a good fill-in for you. So I mean, you're going to need some cheap guys. So like Retzlaff, Clement, and Earnhardt might be the three cheap guys that I want to use to fill in my lineup. But again, it all depends on how qualifying goes. David Starr is probably not going to qualify, so I'm going to say Fincham, Starr, and CJ McLaughlin smashed his car in qualifying, like, or not qualifying, in practice, like 2 seconds into it. Got into Riley Hurst and turned the car, hit the wall. So I don't even know if he's going to be able to qualify. And he's doesn't have enough points to get in without it. So again, I think 38 cars are going to qualify, and I'm pretty sure that Fincham, Starr, and McLaughlin are the ones that are not going to. So that's what I got for you. Like I said, I apologize. I probably won't be able to give you an updated sheet on this on the video. I don't even know on FSi if I'm going to be able to get out a full sheet in just a compressed window with my schedule tomorrow. I'll definitely get cores out and hopefully some type of player pool to our subscribers. But again, I just hate that it's just such a tight window here. With Cup, at least we should have qualifying tomorrow. So, when I do the Cup video, we'll know exactly where we're starting. You'll have the accurate data, and we'll be ready to go for that. But again, like I said, I really feel good about these prime plays unless something goes really, really goofy in qualifying and a really good car is starting in the back, and you just have to pretty much lock it in. So out of all of them, I'd probably drop Sieg as the prime, but I really feel good on Barry, and I really feel good on Hocevar. But like I said, Barry could also be Gibbs or Allgaier. Those are the three ones that I'd probably start to build with. Then, like I said, just like I think Sieg's really a good price. I really like what I saw in practice. I really saw a long run speed. I really like what I saw in results from last year and similar tracks and Hocevar. So those are the ones I'm looking at. The guys in purple, I think, are good fill-ins. You see the rest of the cash plays that I've talked about here, so hopefully it was helpful. So if you have questions, you can put them in the comments below. Hopefully I don't see that there's no audio here. I'll just cry all day long. Or you hit me up at MegaRuler31 on Twitter. If you want more information on FSi DFS, or be able to get into our Discord to be able to get the up-to-date information when it comes, then you can sign up for a NASCAR package. It's like $5 a week. It's very, very cheap. And if these videos help you, we're so close. I think we're at 4,299. So if you want to be help us get to 4,300 on our way to 5,000, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Like the video, share with your friends, get our message out there that we're trying to help people. And again, I just appreciate you watching. So hope you're having a great weekend. Hope the rain holds off, and I know the East Coast is just going to get pelted with it, but I think Nashville's far enough south that it's not going to be affected by it. And just hope you're having a good weekend. So good luck in your contests. You know how to get a hold of me. I'll see you for a NASCAR video, and until next time.